Today we remember the entry of Jesus into Jerusalem, and the liturgy invites us to walk with Jesus on the way of the cross. Like the disciples in the story of the Passion, Jesus calls us to wake up and to remain aware in our spiritual life. We have the opportunity, especially this week during Holy Week, as we meditate on the great events of our salvation, to wake up if we've been half asleep in our spiritual life, perhaps not coming to church, not praying, living a disordered life. Now we have an opportunity to wake up and to confirm our desire to be faithful to the covenant made with the Lord in our baptism and our confirmation. Today we're given the reading from the letter to the Philippians, which is the earliest Christian hymn that we have preserved for us. Paul begins this reading, "Make your attitude the same as that of Christ." Make your attitude the same as that of Christ, because living the spiritual life really is not just a matter of external practices, it is a matter of attitude. It's a matter of the way you think and the way you view life. So this hymn sings about the way that Jesus approached life. It says to Christians that if we really want to follow Jesus in the way of the cross, then we have to take the same approach to life that Jesus took. And the hymn says that Jesus emptied himself. There's a Greek word here that describes Jesus' attitude that appears only once in the whole Bible, only in this place. This word is kenosis. Jesus approached life as kenosis, emptying himself in order to fill up the lives of others. Jesus' life was lived always in an attitude of self-giving love. Jesus gave himself so fully that he was willing to go all the way to the cross in order to fill the emptiness that sin has created in our lives. We can say that Jesus emptied himself into our emptiness in order to fill it. The earliest Gospels tell us how far Jesus went in this self-emptying. He prays on the cross in the midst of his kenosis, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Jesus emptied himself so far that he experienced the total separation from God that sin can cause. And he did it so that we will never have to know that kind of empty feeling in our own lives. No matter how far down we go in life, we know that Jesus has been there, and he is there to bring us back to fullness of life. No matter how many mistakes we have made, we know that Jesus is waiting to help us put our lives in order. No matter even if we feel that God has abandoned us, Jesus actually is with us and understands how we feel. So Jesus offers us new power to transform our lives. During the week leading up to the cross, Jesus confronts both political and religious power that have failed to improve human life. When Jesus enters the city of Jerusalem in a public procession, as he does, he confronts the ambitions of political power. And Jesus says, "My power is not like political power." Jesus enters Jerusalem as the rightful successor to David and as a king who is an alternative to the rule of Rome. And he demonstrates that political power will not transform the world. Jesus says the only thing that will eliminate suffering in our lives is when one person turns toward another with the attitude of self-giving love. Kenosis is a reality that laws and government policies will never create. And in fact, Jesus is killed because people in power want to defend their power. As he enters the city, Jesus goes to the temple. And in the temple, he confronts the power of religious institutions. And Jesus demonstrates that just belonging to a religion is not enough to transform your life. Jesus overturns the tables of the people there who are selling sacrificial animals. And he sees all of this as as just going through the motions in the spiritual life. And he says going through the motions in the spiritual life will not change the world. If our spiritual life does not lead us to turn toward one another in self-giving love, then we will not see a new humanity. Christianity is unique in this way among all the religions of the world. Christianity is a covenant relationship with God, a personal relationship that asks us to also make a personal commitment to other people and community. Pope Francis is calling us now to move beyond superficial cost benefits approaches to our spiritual life, who he says whose principal beneficiary is not the people of God, but the church as an institution. Francis says there are Christians whose lives seem like Lent without Easter. Being a Christian is not the result of an ethical choice or a lofty idea, but it is the encounter with an event and a person who gives life new direction. Thanks to God's love, which blossoms into an enriching friendship, we are liberated from our narrowness and self-absorption. We become fully human when we become more than human, when we let God bring us beyond ourselves. If we have received the love which restores meaning to our lives, how can we fail to share that love with others? So today we're invited to follow Jesus on the way of the cross, on the way of self-emptying love. Are you willing to empty yourself of your own desires, to put others before yourself? Are you willing to empty yourself of your own comfort, to draw close to someone who is suffering? Are you willing to empty yourself of your own opinions, to really listen to someone else, to consider new ideas? Jesus calls us to wake up and to come to him for the healing we need